House Republicans are headed into the next Congress with an even slimmer majority, one that will shrink temporarily to a zero-seat advantage in the early months of Donald Trump's presidency. Republicans hoped the last remaining congressional race in the country would give them a much-needed cushion. Democrat Adam Gray's victory over Rev. John Duarte, California, earlier this month whittled the House Republicans' majority to 220 seats, in contrast to Democrats' 215, one of the smallest majorities in nearly a century. That majority will temporarily shrink to 217 seats, thanks to lawmakers resigning to serve in President Trump's cabinet. If all members are present and no Democrats vote with Republicans, one Republican defection on a bill would result in a 216 to 216 tie and a defeat of the legislation. House Speaker Mike Johnson, Louisiana Republican, shrugged off the zero-seat margin, mentioning that Republicans have developed an expertise in having little wiggle room. Of the nominees leaving the House for President Trump's administration are former Rep. Matt Gaetz, who Trump nominated but subsequently withdrew from contention to lead the Justice Department. Gaetz resigned from Congress and has no intention of returning for the next session despite winning re-election. Representative Mike Waltz of Florida, who plans to leave the House on January 3rd to serve as Trump's national security advisor. And Representative Elise Stefanik, New York Republican, who has not announced when she will leave the House yet to serve as the ambassadors in the United Nations. Their departures, coupled with possible absences or illnesses in the House, particularly among Republicans, could make or break significant legislation on the border, tax cuts, energy, and defense that the incoming Trump administration plans to push through Congress. I think that, quite frankly, you'll see Congress, or at least Republicans, in a bit of a honeymoon phase, said Representative Andy Ogles, Tennessee Republican, and member of the Hardline Freedom Caucus. The question is that 3 months or 6 months? Another Freedom Caucus member, Rep. Ralph Norman from South Carolina, said he expects Republicans will agree on larger ticket items in Trump's agenda. I think you will see that when it comes to cutting spending, everybody has got money coming to their district in some form or fashion. It affects different groups, and so that's where you'll have some kickback. That's where Trump will have to weigh in. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise told reporters that elements of the Inflation Reduction Act and the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act could be acts in an expected reconciliation package. While Republican Representative Max Miller of Ohio, who worked in Mr. Trump's first administration, said that having such a tight majority during the first few months of the Trump administration would be incredibly challenging. For the Washington Times, I'm Alex Miller. To stay informed on all the latest from Capitol Hill, visit WashingtonTimes.com.